I'm Renee.
And I'm Chris.
And we are getting ready for an exciting show today. I mean, it's been a crazy week.
Already.
It's been fun. We've been getting lots of requests. And this topic today, help, I'm a co-parent. Come on. We are ready to address this issue. But before we get into that, if you would, please like, subscribe, share, click the button down there, tell all your friends, jump in, join the chat, put in your comments. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We love doing this.
Now,
we
we've been doing
really
it.
love doing this.
This is show like 15 or 16.
Yes.
And so it's been a lot of fun because we're hearing from people, not just from our church and from our community, but really from all over the world. And I mean, we're getting better and better. We're learning more and more. So really, if you would help us, we need you to subscribe. We need you to like. We need you to comment. And we need you to share. The algorithm, we're dealing with YouTube, y'all. So we need you to help us to work with this algorithm so that more people can be alerted to our platform and we can pour more and more resources in this area. Because this topic today, help, I'm a co-parent, okay? I am a co-parent, and that's literally something we received from somebody. And so we put together a whole show to address this whole issue of co-parenting, and we're going to jump into that.
Yeah, right after these short, brief messages. We'll be right back.
Higher Level Denver is here. Join us as we go to the higher level. Higher Level Denver with Dr. Chris Hill.
But I'm about to get real free. Free in my mind, free in my body, free in my past, free in my future. I need a free person to give God a free praise right here.
We are friends of God, friends of man, and friends of humanity. Transform your life. Find your voice. Get ready to roar. Join Dr. Chris Hill at Higher Level Denver this Sunday at 10 a.m. Higher Level Denver at the Roar Center, 3035 South Parker Road, Aurora, Colorado, 80014. See all that we're doing on the web at www.higherleveldenver.org.
And we're back. We're back. We're excited. Today's topic is we're talking about it's help, exclamation point, I'm a co-parent. And we've been literally getting inundated with these questions because we are a blended family, we're a co-parenting situation, and we've had a lot of really good success at making this thing work. And then we're hearing a lot from people they're really struggling with this issue. You understand that like 51% of men right now are single and childless.
Wow.
Okay. At the same time, 90% of kids that are in the home in the African American community, 72% of kids that are in the home in the Caucasian community are fatherless with no father in the home. So this is an interesting blend. We have 50% of the population of men who don't have no kids. And then we have 70 to 90% of kids who don't have a father in the home. And so it creates an opportunity for families to blend. It really creates an opportunity or a potential crisis if we don't get it right.
Yeah.
If we don't figure this thing out, if we don't work this thing out. And I think one of the greatest enemies of relationships is that men and women are seeing each other as adversarial. And there's we deal with that a lot. A lot of the vitriolic, a lot of the poison between the sexes. And if we can bring that to peace and bring this together, we can actually take men who don't have any children and children who need parenting and do some good co-parenting skills. But then we have to have a greater co-parenting ability. And so one of the questions we got was, help, I'm a co-parent. And they threw us like 8 questions. We're going to boil them down to 5 so we can do them in our time. But why don't you hit the first question?
Well, the first question is, what is the role of the step or co-parent?
Okay.
Now, these two are different. So since we're talking about co-parenting, we're going to address the co-parent because a step parent is different than when you're co-parenting. Co-parenting to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, co-parenting is when two people have a child together, but they live in different households.
Good.
That's co-parenting.
That's fair.
A step parent is living in the house with a child that they may not have biological connection to,
Good.
right?
I think that's fair.
Right. So since we're dealing with co-parents, we'll go ahead and talk about what the role of the co-parent is.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I can only speak from experience and from a female woman's perspective. I would say my definition of the co-parent is to make the process of co-parenting as easy and as simple as possible for both the kid and the other parent.
Wow.
I think that's a big part of co-parenting. That's like the first step. Is like,
So you
how,
feel like job one of a co-parent is to make it easy for the other co-parent
and the child.
and for the child.
Yes.
And if both parties take that stance,
Then we can do this easily good. We're not going to have a lot of issues, disputes, back and forth. It's going to be it'll be a lot smoother than anticipated.
Right.
But I think that's a big area where people mess up.
okay.
In co-parenting is one person is mad at the other, or they're both mad at each other, and
Right.
so they're trying to make it difficult. They're trying to be a problem for that other person. And for me, I look at that as, you are immature, grow up.
Wow.
It's not about you. There is a young, little, helpless kid involved here. And you are so consumed with yourself and so self-centered and so selfish that you can't let go of your emotions and feelings and deal with this in a mature, respectable way, so that that child who came out of your body and your seed, if you're a male, can have a good life with two parents, although those two parents may not be together. For me, that's how I look at that. I look at that as, you're just immature and selfish.
Now, and they say I'm hard. They say I'm hard. But I concur with you. I've dealt with this for 25 years in counseling with co-parenting situations. And at the bottom of all of it is that both parents have to give a rip about their kid. You have to care so much about your kid that you want them to have a healthy relationship with the other parent. More so than you want to get back at the parent, more so than you want to score points, more so where you even disapprove of the other parent. That kid doesn't get to change parents. No matter how much their biological connection is to that mother, or their biological connection is to that father. And you may want to switch it up, and you want to bring in somebody else, and we're going to pretend like this is their parent. It's not. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, it's not. They're going to deal with the same generational curses. They're going to deal with the same biological issues. They're going to deal with the same tendencies that that parent. And if they don't have some kind of working knowledge of that parent, whether you like them or not, they're set up for 10 to 15 years of therapy. So either you get your act together or start saving your money for therapy, for jail, okay, for lawyers. Just because you can't get over yourself and you can't, it comes down to selfishness. They hurt me. I don't want them to have anything to do with this child. And the problem is that the kid is on the other end of it. Now, we'll deal with the other spectrum. We're going to deal with the other spectrum when that parent is deadbeat or does not want to be involved in the life of the child. But as it lies with the co-parent, you're saying, and I concur with you, that it's our job to be like, okay, forget me.
Forget about it.
Forget about me. I got to make sure that this child has some kind of viable relationship with that parent, or else I'm being a selfish person. Okay? and I need to fix that as quickly as humanly possible so that my child can benefit.
So I always say step one in
Step one.
co-parenting
Okay.
is let's take some time and self-reflect.
Self-reflection.
Let me sit here. Let me get through my emotions. Yes, the emotions are there. Yes, it's normal for you to be mad. Yes, it's normal for you to be angry. Yes, you're going to feel like from time to time that you're doing more than that other person. Yes, you're going to feel like, oh, I didn't want to raise this kid by myself. Yes, you're going to have all of these emotions.
Talk about it.
But I have to sit here and I have to say, great, got it. Now it's time to get over myself. And let me think about this kid. Now, this kid is going to be better off in society
Yeah.
if he has both parents. This kid is going to be better off in school if they have both parents. This kid is going to be a better human if they have both parents, whether that parent is good or bad.
Wow.
Deadbeat or not,
Wow.
that kid is going to go and search for that parent at some point in their life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. No matter what, that kid is going to look for them.
Right.
It's just what it is. It's the nature of being born, I guess. But I know that that kid is going to go and look for whoever is not there. If they know that that is not their biological parent, if you do remarry or something, they're going to go and look for that biological parent. If they want to know who they are in any way, shape, or form. So the best thing to do first is to sit down and say, okay, I'm pissed at this person. I don't like them.
I hate this person.
I hate them. They treated me bad.
They're my ex.
They're my ex. They ugly. They stank. Whatever.
All of that.
Let's get it out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, okay,
And that's their daddy.
that's their daddy or that's their
their
mama.
mama. And we got to do what we got to do.
Yep. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say, okay, first thing, okay, all of that is there. I'm not saying people that has to be removed. I'm not saying you have to let all of that go. What I'm saying is that can't be higher than your want and desire for your kid to be a whole human. And kids are not whole. We are not whole when we don't know both parts of us.
Wow.
I'm sorry to tell you, but we need to know, even if they're bad. And I'm speaking from experience. When you get older, you have to know. You have to know your background. You have to know what you come from.
You can't even go to
Stuff
the doctor.
comes up, yeah.
You go to the
They're
doctor,
gonna
first
ask
thing
you.
they're going to ask is, did your daddy have, did your mama have
Yeah.
diabetes? And if that kid is sitting there thinking,
I don't know.
I don't even really
Well,
know.
maybe let me find out.
And then it's one thing if that parent backs away and it totally shakes off all their responsibility. But it's another thing is if you're the blocker, if you're the issue. I'm thinking about Kanye West, and now his mother has passed away, and now he's revisiting the fact that he was ripped from the clutches of his father, and even posthumously, after the mother's death, now he's starting to process through the fact that he lost his best friend because the mother was pursuing an acting career that consequently went nowhere. Okay? And now he's dealing with all these issues, and we got to watch it on the YouTubes. We got to sit here and watch him endorse Trump just because she wouldn't let his daddy see him. Now now I'm oversimplifying, but this is the real. I deal with this every single day in terms of counseling with people. And so how can we fix this? All right, great. Co-parenting. Number one, I feel like you have to accept we're in a co-parenting situation.
Accept it.
I had to accept it. When I went through my divorce, and the first time I had to put Jonathan on a plane to send him away on a holiday, to send my baby boy away on a holiday, I wanted to jump off 3 bridges, okay? But it was going to hurt him long term not to have a relationship with his mother. That's his mama. At the end of the day, that's his mother. They need to have a relationship. And so I had to put on my big boy pants, okay, and fix my lip, keep my head up, Tupac, and take that boy and put him on a Southwest flight with the lady and let him and an iPod, whatever that thing, the little game thing he used to play, and send him off. And it nearly took me out of here. You remember that?
I remember
It nearly took me out of here. Every other Thanksgiving, we went to Vegas, okay? Every other Thanksgiving after that, I planned something fun to make up for that loss, but it was for his benefit.
Yeah.
It was for his benefit, and it worked out great. It worked out great. He has a relationship with his mother. He has a relationship with his father. He has a relationship with his stepmother, and it's cool for him.
Yeah.
And that had to be the priority.
Yeah. And I mean, you know me. I
So they don't
also
though.
co-parent.
Talk about it.
My daughter first left me at the age of 4.
Wow.
I had to put her on a plane and send her across the country, a 4.5-hour flight.
At age
At
4.
age 4. So when we're talking about letting go, I mean, just imagine, like, moms out there. I mean, I stood in the window of that airplane watching her plane go up. I stood in that airport ugly crying.
Wow.
Ugly crying for at least 2 hours.
Come on.
After that plane took off. Couldn't get myself together, wondering if she was going to land. Literally wondering, you know. And do you think I wanted to do that?
No, then why did you do it?
I did it because she loves her dad and her dad loves her. And at the end of the day, I didn't grow up with a dad
Come on.
in the home. I didn't grow up with a stepdad in the home. You know, my mom made the decision she was never bringing another man around. So for me, if I felt like if my daughter has the opportunity
Wow.
to have her biological father be in her life, whether he and I are together or not, I was going to allow that because he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a bad dad. He loved her just as much as I loved her. So I had to let go of all the hurt, pain, all of the crazy thoughts that went through my head of plane jackings, hijackings and planes engines stopping, even
Wow.
though I've never lived through one a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? And the statistics on that is it's very slim chance that
Right.
that's going to happen. But I had to go through that.
Because that's all playing out in your mind.
Yeah, and I brought trackers, like her necklace was a tracker, and her phone had a tracker in it, and her tablet had a tracker. I had trackers on for your trackers to make sure I knew where my baby was. And I was prepared to jump on another plane
Right.
if I had to, if anything went wrong. But what I'm saying is I had to put aside my emotions, my feelings, so that I could allow her to have something better than what I even had. That I cared enough about her that I was unwilling to take her father away from her, even though he moved to another state,
Right.
even though he uprooted and left to a whole nother state for work purposes. I was just unwilling to deprive her from that.
And it's worked out.
Oh, it works out great because we're both mature adults.
Right.
And we both, him included, we both made a decision to be mature when it came to parenting our daughter in 2 separate households.
That's deep.
And so that's why I say the number one thing is make it easy and be mature. Be mature, people. Be mature. Be mature.
And
I
we're
know
going to pray
this
for
is
you. We're going
hard.
to pray for you on this one.
I know this is hard,
This
and
is-
I'm saying it, babe, I'm saying it like that because I know it's hard.
Right.
Because I did it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I didn't have all these feelings.
Right.
I could have picked up a knife and threw it all the way to Florida and stabbed them with it. That's how I felt. And I'm just being honest, girls.
Oh my
Women,
God.
we know how we feel. You just want to hit them over the head with something, or you just want to beat them up and beat them until you can't no more. Yes, babe, these are real feelings that women have.
Okay.
Girls, get in the comments. Confirm what I'm saying. Like, when you break up with someone and you are married and you go through a divorce and it was in a way that you did not expect,
Right.
you have emotions that you didn't even know existed in your mind.
Right.
They just come up. Yeah, burn down the house, all that stuff that these girls burn his car, cut up his shoes. What else they do? Cut all the shoelace, the shoe heels, bleaching clothes. This is stuff women do. And I understand women. I understand. The thoughts go through your mind. But the key point here is the maturity to move those thoughts over and realize it's just your emotions talking.
Thank God for grace.
It's just your emotions
And
talking.
emotions just talking.
And you're bigger than this. You're better than that. I'm not going to go and be ratchet. I'm going to be mature.
And that's keyword, is ratchet. Okay? Say this with me, children. Ratchet. So much of what we do around our kids is just ratchet. I watch people from other cultures who can go on vacation together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All they spent COVID together. Okay? They all on a boat together with Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, whatever her name is, and the young guy who slept with the old lady. And they all on the boat together, and because they have kids. And they wanted it peaceful. But I look at people who look like me and have colors that are closer to mine, and we're just ratchet. We just fighting in the street like fools, and then expect the kid to come out of this pressure cooker sane. And it doesn't happen. And we have to get it together. I want to talk quickly about the role of the step-parent, the stepfather, the stepmother. So they're co-parenting over there. What's the role of the step-parent?
The step-parent's role is the same.
Wow.
Let me make this as easy as possible for my spouse and that other parent that my spouse has to work with. Yeah, you can give the other spouse a hard time, but how does that help? How does that make even your relationship in the home, how does that make it a peaceable place? I hear these stories of, my baby's dad's wife, she's always talking trash to me and I don't like her and I'm gonna fight her and this and that, and she came and she keyed my car and she did this and this, and I hear about it. So as a co-parent, the step-parent in the home with the person who has to co-parent, it is their job also to put that child first, to make it easy. If I'll give an example, my daughter just had her Sweet 16 this year, and she wanted to have a party, a volleyball party, okay? Of course I'm going to invite her dad. Of course I'm going to invite her stepmother. Of course they're going to be there. Of course her grandparents from her dad's family and her family from her dad's side are going to be there. And do you think my husband was like, that's your ex, I don't want him around? No, that's her father. And he's being a father to her. So he's like, great, they're coming. Do they need a place to stay? What are we going to do? Are we going to do a dinner all together? This is making it easy. This is what we do to make it. There was even one time we took a vacation. Chris and I, we took a vacation. We went down to Florida, not to visit them. In particular, we were just on vacation. The kids were with us. John was with us. My daughter Leah was with us. We're on vacation. And that's where my ex lives. So hey, let's get together. We're on vacation. Let's go have lunch.
It's drive an hour and a half.
We drove. My daughter hadn't seen them since
in
Christmas,
the rain.
Let's go see your dad.
Because
we're in the same state.
Because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the kid. It's about the health of the child and the child coming out not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? Not needing therapy, not feeling a tug of war. I feel like it's the job of the step parent to step aside. That step was put there by Jesus to remind you to step aside. I am not her daughter's father, and I'm not trying to be. I'm not stepping in his role. I'm not stepping in his way. I'm stepping out of his way. And so, what's my role then with your daughter? I'm your husband.
Yep. So he does what he would do with even his own child. I do what I would do with my own child with his son.
Exactly.
We just treat them like they're ours. That is what we do.
Without violating
The other person.
the other person.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. It doesn't make me more, you know, she live in my house and he live under my roof and I'm paying the bills over here. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Just get over yourself and put that child first. Otherwise, you do this wrong, instead of them being gone at 19, 18, 20, you may be dealing with this till they're 40
Come on.
because you didn't build them with the full picture. You got to play the long game. You got to use your head and then act like, how would you want your child treated in that situation? How would you want that child to be living in a pressure cooker? If your child was what if you reap what you sow? What if you get back out of this life? What goes around does come around, and you want to live your life in such a way that if I have to reap it back, and one of the things I saw as a stepmother to my son, I watch how you interact with. Well, you don't violate his biological mother. There's no need to. There's no reason to. They're there,
Yep.
and you're here.
Yep.
So if we operate with respect and love, and primarily put that child first,
Make it easy.
and make it easy, I think you get a better result.
Yes. And you guys, this is getting good.
Okay.
This is getting good. We got to take a quick break for a minute. We'll be right back
As
with
we
your
got 5
daily
more
dose
questions.
of realness.
100% real.
We are going to try to get through them all. If not, we'll do another episode next time. But stay tuned. We'll be right back on Love the Real Hills.
Higher Level Denver is here. Join us as we go to the higher level. Higher Level Denver with Dr. Chris Hill.
But I'm about to get real free. Free in my mind, free in my body, free in my past, free in my future. I need a free person to give God a free praise right here.
We are friends of God, friends of man, and friends of humanity. Transform your life. Find your voice. Get ready to roar. Join Dr. Chris Hill at Higher Level Denver this Sunday at 10 a.m. Higher Level Denver at the Roar Center, 3035 South Parker Road, Aurora, Colorado, 80014. See all that we're doing on the web at www.higherleveldenver.org.
We're back. Guys, we have just been sitting here for the last 45 minutes before coming back into this segment, having a very in-depth, heated discussion about this next
Us
question.
and the crew.
And the crew.
Okay.
So we're going to just bring you guys in on this because
We might as well.
we have a big difference of opinion right now, and it's kind of hard.
It's not hard.
You know, it's not really hard, but
We agree on the basics.
we agree on the base, but we disagree on the reality. Because I understand there are scenarios that can come
Okay,
up
well, you got to deal with the
with
question. Do with the question.
should a co-parent discipline
Should a step parent?
or step parent, sorry, should a step parent discipline, okay?
The
and
child.
so discipline the child that is not theirs biologically.
Okay, let's deal with
And
it.
apparently this is something that a lot of people are struggling with. Should the step parent discipline? Of course, as you can see, he's shaking his head. He does not believe the step parent should discipline. I, on the other hand, disagree. I believe that if they are in the same home and they are living under the same roof, there should be a level of understanding of discipline. We have already discussed this. What is discipline? What does discipline look like? Yes, we're going to discipline, or no, we're not going to discipline. So,
Okay,
with that
so
being
we
said,
agree. Here's where we agree, guys. We agree that there needs to be a discussion between the marrying couple, the couple getting together,
prior to marriage.
particularly if there are children. And one of the questions that we ask, and we do this in premarital, because I deal with a lot of blended families. At least 70% of what we deal with is blended families, okay, unless we're dealing with very young couples, very young people getting married. And we ask, how is it okay for the other parent to discipline the child? And then we wait for an answer, okay? And then we ask, okay, if there's another co-parenting entity outside of the home, how does that person feel about the child being disciplined by the step parent?
The new parent.
The new parent, and there has to be three-way agreement.
Three-way agreement. That means the mother of the child, the biological mother of the child,
Yes,
the biological father of the child,
yes.
and the third is either the stepmother or the stepfather in the picture.
There has to be agreement.
Everyone, we need to sit down, have a conversation, even if that conversation is sitting down with a pastor or your counselor or your marriage counselor with the three different parties.
Probation officer,
Oh, God.
probation officer.
Okay, if we go to the extreme cases, your probation officer, a police officer, a security guard.
We got to get this straight.
We just.
Before you say I do, can I discipline little Junior? Okay? And if she says, it's cool with me, but his daddy Ice Pick doesn't want nobody messing with the little ice chips, okay? Then you need to put on your ice skates and skate up out of that joint, because you don't need nobody to pull up over some child, okay? And this needs to be clear. This is one of the reasons why 52% of African American men, particular, are childless and are not getting with anybody who has children, is because when you bring them into a situation where it's going to be his house, his bills, his everything else, but little Ice Chips is little Ice Pick's kid, and he can't do nothing, then either he decides to say, okay, then let Ice Chips, he can lick the plug. Okay, little Ice Chips wants to make some oatmeal out of some rat poison, then go right ahead. And my wife, what we've been arguing about for 45 minutes with the entire crew is you feel like.
I feel like, people, that is unrealistic to think that you're going to live in a house married to someone with a child, and that there is never going to come a time where you have to step in and discipline that child in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's something as simple as little Ice Pick is walking over to the plug with a fork, and you say, little Ice Pick, walk away from that. Don't you stick that fork in there. Or even something as simple as little Ice Pick comes home with an F on his report card. And
Because you know Ice Pick is having
and
Fs.
mom is off on a business trip for 2 days.
Right.
And the step parent is home with little Ice Pick and says, little Ice Pick, you're grounded for 2 months until I see this grade come up. You ain't getting no video games. You ain't getting your phone. You ain't going outside to play. Okay? Those things are gonna happen. I'm saying it's unrealistic to honestly think that you can live in a house and be married to someone who has a child and think that you can just say, well, Big Ice Pick doesn't want me discipline him, so I'm never gonna discipline ever.
Well,
It's not gonna happen.
I just feel like there has to be a discussion. And if we get to the impasse, and if I really want to be with the mother,
Yes.
then I will just decide that, okay, cool. Okay? If Lil Ice Pick wants to run in the street, he can run in the street. Okay? If Little Ice Pick wants to jump off
And
the top tree
because
onto the
if
electrical
you're married,
wire,
if you're married to Little Ice
then
Pick
that-
mom and
okay.
she left him there, she's at work.
then he would. If I can't discipline him, he will
But
never
she
be
says
alone.
you can. It's
Okay.
the Big Ice Pick that don't want you to discipline.
Okay, so
And
to me,
Little
that
Ice Pick gets hit by a car under your care.
he
You're
will
gonna be
never
like,
be
I'm
under
not
my
allowed
care
to discipline.
because Big Ice Pick is gonna come get me. Okay, because his little Ice Pick got ran over by a car, and this my whole issue is that's on the woman or the man. Handle your business before you involve somebody in a tenuous situation. You need to fix that. You need to get all that solved before you invite somebody else into a 187.
And
Ain't
what I'm
nobody trying
saying-
to get killed over your child.
And what I'm saying, some people are unfixable. You can be the best person and try to get your ex to comply.
Yes.
And that does not mean that ex is going to comply. That does not mean that ex is not immature. That's why they're your ex. That does not mean that ex is going to agree to anything because they're just difficult. That is a grown person that you're dealing with. No matter how much you have your business together, how much you handle your business, you cannot control another grown adult, which is why I'm saying, people, if I'm going to marry you
Yes.
and I got Big Ice Pick over here
Yes.
who is untenable,
Right.
and this topic comes up and we are not married yet, I'm saying it is my job to say, you know what? Even though I love you, I would love to marry you. We're not going to get married because it's not fair to you to have to deal with Big Ice Pick and his craziness.
No.
And it's not fair to the child
Right.
either that you're going to be the one in the house with him.
Right.
And you're never going to say nothing. You're never going to discipline him. You're never going to be any kind of father role. So I should just, as a mature, responsible adult, I should just realize that I made a mistake in my past, that I now have to deal with that consequence. And I'm going to wait until little baby Ice Pick is 18 and out of my house. And then I can start my dating life.
And we agree on this because this is what I'm dealing with men is they're meeting very viable women, but they have children. And they're coming to me and saying, Pastor, should I get with this? And I've had the same thing happen with women coming to me and saying, hey, he's got a baby mama. And then my first question is, have y'all met? Have y'all talked? Have we worked this thing out? And if the answer is, well, she crazy, she gonna burn down the house if I move in, then my answer is
Run.
booty call. Okay? You
can't,
is the
guys.
booty call.
I
Okay?
can't.
Is
Babe,
keep
no.
it on the down low.
We're talking
This
about
is to why I creep.
sanctified
Yeah, just
people
keep it.
who want to live a good life,
I just want you
holy
to live
and
alive.
acceptable to Christ.
I want you to be alive. And people inculcate themselves. It's up to the other person to fix that mess. It is not my job to fix your mess, okay? With your drama. You got to get all that drama as handled as possible before you bring somebody else into it. And I'm y'all know I'm joking, but I've buried people. I bury people for a living. I've buried people who have been killed because they got pulled in to somebody else's drama and trauma that they did not figure out. And now we're talking to men, and men are just literally, shout out to KS, literally are walking away. They refuse to be in step situations, and we really don't need that. We just need everybody to figure it out. To
Ahead of
figure it
time.
out ahead of time and say, hey, we're going to work this out. And hey, I'm going to go sit down with Ice Pick and tell him, look, Ice Pick, now, I'm going to marry Derek, and Derek is a good man. Derek is a good man. Well, if he say anything to my son, then come get little Ice Pick then, okay? And you raise little Ice Pick on at the halfway house with you. Okay, and if he says, well, I can't really do that, or you're not comfortable with that, if you can't secure Derek's life, If you can't secure Derek's life, then just stay out of it. Let's date. Let's date for 20 years, okay? And once this is all clear, if it ever gets cleared, then, and I mean, we're dealing in hyperbole, but this is realer than real. And
This is real.
This is real. Is that everybody has to handle their own mess
Yeah,
first.
yeah, but sometimes you can't. Some people are just the way they are, and so you have to just deal with the fact that you made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
You made a mistake that's going to cost you 18 years of being by yourself.
Well, not by yourself. We can date. Okay, can we date?
No one's trying to date for 18 years. It's just, no one's dating for 18 years.
So we're just gonna. So we're saying
We're
to
just going to
people.
be girlfriend and boyfriend for 18 years.
I've met people who do that all the time. I live in Denver. Okay, people ain't shacking. They mansioning.
No
Okay,
one in
they done built a whole.
Christian,
They done built a whole.
no one
compound.
who is trying to live upright in the sight of the Lord
Uh-huh.
is going to date someone for 18 years. I'm sorry.
Well, I think God will understand if ice pick is involved. Okay, but that's just me. That's just me. And I have a grace gift. I have a mercy gift. Y'all don't kill me.
That is
okay?
grace and mercy.
That's just who
It's
I
grace
be.
and mercy.
Okay, but let's deal with that. So we're saying that they have to. You guys need to agree before we say I do about discipline.
That what if I really love you
Mm-hmm.
and your kid is so bad, but I really love you and your baby mama don't want me to discipline her child,
Right.
but I really love you and I'm the best thing that ever happened to you in life.
You are.
Babe,
You're the best thing that ever happened to me.
what about that?
You're the best.
Walk away?
Yes. Run.
I agree.
Run for your life.
I agree.
That baby mama drama is
It's real.
It's not only is it a red flag, it can be a deal breaker. It can be a deal breaker if that person
It
because
should
they're not
be.
even mad. They're not mad at you. They're not mad at, if your homegirl came over and the little child is about to lick the plug and zap himself, your homegirl would be like, "Hey boy, Ice Pick Junior, stop it right now." And he wouldn't have no problem at all. But if I said it, now he want to buck up and he want to roll up.
You're
He's
right.
just feeling, because he's intimidated as heck because my stuff is together. He's intimidated as heck because I'm making his ex smile. Okay? But no one should needs to live a life like that. There's just too many, it's too much to ask somebody to do. That's my
Yeah,
point. It's
I
too
agree.
much
You
to
should
ask
walk away.
somebody, but you have to have this discussion beforehand. Now, but what about, let's deal quickly because we got to move here fast. Let's deal with the parent. Let's say it's not the step, it's not the co-parent, it's the parent themselves that is saying, "I'm not comfortable with you disciplining my child."
Then walk away from that person.
Wow.
Because there's no way you're gonna live in a house with, and I'm talking about for the most part, it's in the younger years, but sometimes some teens can be quite a handful.
Right.
But, you know how I feel about marriage in general. If you disagree
Yeah.
on topics like this, it's not gonna work.
Wow.
It is not going to work. What will happen is that will turn into a fight between you and that person.
Exactly.
That you're married to now.
And children are good at playing this.
Oh, they do it on purpose.
They have black belts in messing y'all
I
up.
call them the devils.
They can be
The
very
children, the little devils.
and if they
They
find
plot.
that place in between, they'll play that in between place until you guys are at each other's throat. So it's better to have the discussion beforehand to really work it through, to really, not rose-colored glasses, not just all these oh, I love you so much, but really deal with it. And when we really deal with it, we can come to the bottom of it. Can we get to the next question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I wish we had rolled cameras because this got heated and it was beautiful. But we came to the agreement of, hey, Let's talk about it beforehand. Let's come to agreement. And that has to be a 3-way, or a better is a 4-way agreement where everybody,
fourth?
that person's spouse.
They might usually when they're untenable, they ain't got a spouse
Well, if they,
because don't nobody want them
at least a 3-person
because
agreement.
they're just untenable.
Okay, this is the question. This is a great question, and this has been fun. I've enjoyed this. This has been fun. I woke completely up.
Stressful.
This is great. It says, okay, what if the other parent doesn't want me involved? Then what do I do?
Involved in what?
What if the other parent just says, hey, I don't want that step parent to be involved with my child at all. This happens.
Huh?
They said I don't want them talking to my kid.
They're dumb.
Okay.
Literally dumb.
Say more.
You're dumb. How can your kid live in a house with someone else and not talk to them? You're stupid. Grow the F up.
Oh my God.
That's all I got to say. Grow up.
Clutch the pearl.
Grow up. You child. Why do you have a child if you're that immature?
Now we see this a lot where they're like, okay.
You see stupidity a lot.
I do. This is my job. Is they get with somebody, they're gonna get with Harry, they're gonna get with Shirley, and that other parent is like, okay, but I don't want them to have nothing to do with my child. And this is usually my wife would just say, grow the F up.
Grow up.
Okay? This is why I love her. Because it's impossible. You don't get to control somebody else's life.
You don't.
They're your ex. If y'all have 1 or 2 things together, and that's the children, that's all that's left. And so it becomes imperative, and this is a rule that we instituted, is at your house,
Do what you do.
you're in charge.
Yes.
At my house,
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge. I will not try to run your house.
Please don't try to run mine.
Please don't try to run. And because the reality is you have no power anyway. Outside of the scope of your own world, even though we're co-parenting. And so I can't control that house. If my house, we're going to celebrate Halloween. Okay? We're going to have some candy. And we're going to put on some costumes. They won't be spooky. I'm just pulling out nothing. Okay? And at your house, if you want to have Hallelujah night, okay? I grew up with Hallelujah night. And as soon as I got on my own, I went to Halloween, okay? Because Hallelujah night is stupid, okay? And I either couldn't stand it. It made me sick, okay?
Y'all, I'm still praying for you.
Pray for me.
He is
because
really
I want
saved.
some
He
candy.
does love Jesus.
I want some candy, and I want more. I do not want to dress like a prophet, okay? Sorry. I'm sick of dressing like a prophet.
I want to be Spider-Man.
I want to be Spider-Man, damn it. Okay? I want to be. Okay? So I'm still working. Y'all pray for me. I'm still working through this with the counselor. Okay? But this is, as soon as I got on my own, I had Halloween. But I mean, that's my house rules. You get to have your house rules.
One. I'm gonna. Well, at Daddy's house, we get to be Spider-Man.
That's right.
Let me tell you your mature response. Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Great. That's what you do at Daddy's house. But over here, I want to teach you what that is about and what we do here. And the reason why we celebrate Hallelujah night is because we don't want to give the devil any room in our lives. So we're going to get some candy and we're going to dress up. We're just going to dress up in things that are edifying to us, edifying to our lives, edifying to our spirits. So we're going to dress up like biblical characters or something nice and sweet and nothing spooky and scary, because we're not devil worshipers and we're not giving the devil any foothold in our lives at this house.
Are you saying Daddy's a devil worshiper?
No, Daddy's not
Just
a
because
devil
he
worshiper.
likes Halloween?
No, Daddy's not a devil worshiper. Daddy just does things differently than we do.
Yes, and that's the beauty. Yeah, they do what they do. Now, what if the kid says, well, I want to go to Daddy's house?
You could go to Daddy's house.
You going to drop me off?
Yep, let me call him. Daddy,
Yeah.
little Johnny want to come to your house for Halloween. Because you know I don't do Halloween over here.
Okay, then bring him on over.
All right, what time?
I think it's midnight when the witches get here.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring him at 10.
Where my witches at?
I mean, honestly, that is how, even if you don't agree with
Peace
them,
in the valley. Peace.
you raise your kid
It's my house.
at your house in the way they should go, and that parent's going to raise that or have an input in that kid's life in the way that they would do if y'all were
and
together.
they will balance it. They will
Now,
literally
hopefully,
balance it out.
and usually, you know, if you get with someone, you're not going to get with a devil worshiper if you're a Christian. Usually that's not what you're going to do. It's not going to be that far stretched as what we
Hopefully.
what example we did. But there
If
are
you know.
situations where, like Hallelujah Night versus going out in a
Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas, like,
Hanukkah.
yeah, like my ex doesn't do Christmas. He doesn't do Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't, you know, to him, that's a pagan holiday. It is.
Which it is.
It is. I don't disagree.
Can't argue it.
But I use Christmas in a different way.
Right.
I grew up with Christmas.
Celebrating Jesus' birthday.
Even though I know that's not Jesus' birthday, and so does my child.
Right.
But it's still a great time to come together with family, fellowship, food, open
Fights.
gifts. We go and take gifts to other people. We do stuff like that, you know. So it doesn't mean anything just because he doesn't.
Yes, and I
It
agree.
means nothing to
I
me.
agree. I'm joking.
You
I'm
know?
always joking.
Yeah,
but
he's a mess, guys.
but the reality is this is where people go crazy is because they're trying to control somebody else's house.
Yep.
They're trying to control even if
Your
you,
house, your life.
even if you pay the rent, even if your child support money is being used to pay that rent, you do not control that house.
And that's a good one. Don't think that the money you give,
Mm.
don't think the money you give gives you control, total control. It doesn't. Because that other parent is giving money just as well. And when that kid is living in both houses, don't think just because you have custodial guardianship where you have the kid more time than the other parent, that means you have all of the power and you can use that as a weapon against that other power to
Boo-boo.
manipulate them into doing what you want.
At 14, that kid
That
can make a
kid,
decision.
yep, and that kid is gonna see what you're
And they're gonna
doing,
see what
and
you're
they're
doing.
gonna call you out and put you in your place
And decide to move
and
out.
leave.
We watch it happen all the time. They will liberate. These kids will go, what's that word? Whether you liberate yourself from your parents? Self-emancipation?
Oh, emancipate.
Juneteenth. They will Juneteenth your behind, okay? And will emancipate on you, okay? So you need to be a good parent. You need to be fair. Everything you're doing is going to be weighed, okay?
By that child.
Sojourner Truth.
And the older they
you
get
bet
and the more they know,
will-
the more they're going to realize what you were doing when they were younger.
And if you were
trust me,
talking
they don't
negative
forget.
about the parent and running them
Yeah.
down, they're going to remember. And so it's better to take the long play. Take the long play and decide to be a fantastic co-parent. And I think
Decide to love your child.
that's the balance. Is that it's not a question of how I feel about the ex. It's how much do I love my child. This has been fun.
This has been great.
This one right here. This one right here.
Okay, guys, don't
Man.
forget, send in your comments. Put them in the comments.
More
Send in
comments.
your questions.
Please subscribe. We need you to subscribe, like, write in the comments, share. Tell somebody about this discussion. This is such a hot button issue in this time, and really the church is pretty silent on it. But we don't want to be silent. We want to be 100% real. This is Love the Real Hills. My name is Chris.
And I'm Renee.
We love you.
And we'll see you next time.
And we'll see you real soon.